This is a tale of three ratchets. These are the three premium top tier flex head locking ratchets from the three premium tool manufacturers. They are in order from newest to oldest in my tool collection. This is the locking flex head offering from Mac, 90 tooth ratchet. This is the flex head offering from Matco, an 88 tooth ratchet. And this is the flex head offering from Snap-on, an 80 tooth ratchet. What we're going to do is compare and contrast them and kind of see them side by side, do some measurements and sort of show you the different parts of them. And then I'm going to show you which one of these is my favorite ratchet. So first off, let's start with the new one. This ratchet has probably had 20 sockets on it ever. It's probably turned 30 bolts ever. I've had it less than 6 months, and it works like a ratchet, on and off, and it's labeled on and off for those that don't know righty-tighty or lefty-loosey. It is a solid metal handle, easier to wipe off. That's why I got it. You can brake clean it, and it works out just fine as far as keeping clean. The grip is very, very nice. This little flare on the end does kind of help you to not slide off of it when you're working. Like the ratchet, like the way it looks. In fact, of the three, it is my favorite as far as appearance. So let's get into the features. The locking flex head on the Mac ratchets is a push button release. So in other words, of these three ratchets, it's the only one that doesn't have a free flex head option. It's locked wherever you let it go at. The maximum upright position is here, and the maximum position working back on itself is here. So, well, you're having a bad day if you need to do that, but that does come up. As far as the lock and how rigid it is, this is something I want to show you. There is some play, but watch this. And again, I'm not pushing that button, and I'm not working. Now, when you get down here in this lower lock, it does time well, and it's not that the lock is broken or that the gears are broken. It's that these gears aren't true. So in other words, when you're here, that lock's not engaging that gear well. See? So, and again, this ratchet's new. I haven't worn this out. That's just how it came from the factory. They may not all do this. I may have a dud here, but if I do have a dud, it's a QC issue. If they all do that, it's a quality issue. Now, I will say, I'm not putting very much, in fact, look, here, look, it makes my point, look. I'm not putting a lot of torque on it to make it do that, but it also, in my opinion, it locks enough. It locks as much as the old Craftsman with just the ball bearing in them. It locks that much. No more, no less. As far as the ratchet mechanism goes, it's probably the clickiest one of the bunch. And what that tells me is that the gear engagement's very aggressive inside the head. I like it. I mean, like I said, that's kind of a bad deal there, but it's not a deal breaker. I think it's still a good ratchet. What we're going to do is we're going to put a socket on here. We're going to see the length this way, and we're going to measure it across here so that we have a comparison. So we've got here a 3/4 Williams socket, and that's the socket we'll use for the whole test. It mounts really nice and flush. An appropriate amount of play in the pawl to head engagement. In other words, you want to have a little bit of room so you can work. And it does kind of bounce back to the middle. What do we got there? 1/805. And then the head width, 116. The overall weight is just under a pound, according to this scale. Not the most accurate scale. I don't know where my digital scale is, but it'll do for a comparison's sake. This is the Matco ratchet, and in my opinion, it is the most feature-rich of the ratchets in this offering here. It's the longest one. This is the long model, so there you go. What's neat about it is the locking mechanism. First of all, the lock is like all there. It does have some play, and that is enough play to make you slip off and lose your grip, so that's not cool, but it's enough knot play to where if you watch what you're doing, you can get the work done. But what's cool about it is when you turn it off, your head is free. Now, as far as degrees of freedom, when locked, that's as far as you can lock it down that way. Oh, I lied to you. That's as far as you can lock it down that way. So it's about the same angle as the Mac. And that's as far as you can lock it in the upright. And again, about the same as the Mac. This is an 88 gear tooth. I don't like that it's not a sealed head design. See, it's a snap ring type head versus the other two are actually screwed together. And the Mac being the only one where the screws are on the back of the ratchet. I actually like this design the best. Sealed head, screws on the top. I think that's the best design in the deal. As far as with a socket on, 1718, so it's also narrower, or shorter rather, and 1230. So it is, although it's smaller this way, it's bigger this way than the Mac. The main thing I don't like about the Matco is, again, related to its not sealed head design. I mean, there's just so much play in that socket. It really does cause you to slip off. I just feel like they could have done so much better with that. Put some screws in it. The Mac, I do feel like, has the tightest hold on the socket. I mean, that's just the play between the socket and the pawl. The pawl's not even moving. But Snap-on does strike a nice balance. And that's plenty good enough. And as far as weight goes, it is lighter by an ounce. So this is where the other was 15. This one comes in about 14 ounces on this scale. And then last, the Snap-on. The Snap-on has the least amount of play with the head in the locked position. It also has the most aggressive angle in the all the way down. It's actually basically right at 90 degrees back on itself and locked. And then back the other way, that's where it locks at. So about the same lockout in the upright, but the Snap-on will lock in a full 90 degree in the reverse or back up on itself. The problem with the Snap-on, anybody's ever used one of these knows, this locking mechanism is kind of a lockout deal, kind of like a bolt action gun. Well, what'll happen is you've got it in the free deal, and the reason you did that is because you have to kind of snake under a part, maybe pick up on the part to get the angle to work, get onto a bolt, and then turn it. Well, what'll happen is you'll bump this, and it doesn't take much, and then now you're locked, and you can't get your wrench off. The fix that I've found for that in this size ratchet, so you're stuck. You need to be able to flex it to get it out, and it's locked itself out. You get one of these 90 degree picks, one of these long picks, you come in here and you pick it up and twist it, and then you're free again to be able to get your ratchet back out. As far as weight goes, this is the lightest one at 12 ounces. 1.807, so it's the tallest in the bunch, but not by much. 12055 across there. And when you look at these three ratchets, the Mac looks to be the smallest as far as head size goes in the head width. And that is apparent when you actually work with the tools, that it is thinner through there, and obviously the numbers dictate that it is. And the Matco is overtly the shortest as far as, top to bottom height. Another feature to consider on these ratchets is the angle. So in other words, what I'm getting at is the distance between the bend and the pawl. So the distance on the Snap-on and the Matco is pretty much identical. In other words, the distance from here to that angle is basically exactly the same. On the Mac, it's quite a bit shorter. See where that joint is? So that can either get you into some trouble or get you out of some trouble, depending on what you get into. As far as I'm concerned, in general, Snap-on's the better manufacturer. When I send something to them for warranty, it comes back very, very quickly. They are in charge of almost all of their manufacturing. Most of what they don't make, they own the company that makes it. Example be the torque wrenches. They don't make their torque wrenches, but they own CDI that does make their torque wrenches. So they have control of quality, control of repair, control of time from out of the customer's hand, back around through repairs, back to the customer, better than the other brands do. So I like Snap-on as a brand better. I've sent things back to Mac and Matco, and they both take longer than things I've sent to Snap-on as far as repair goes. Now that I've said that, which of these three ratchets do I like the best? And the answer to that is the Mac. And the main reason for it is I do like the head, I do like the 90-tooth design, and I really like the handle. Now granted, this Snap-on Comfort Grip feels better than all three of these handles. But when you compare metal handles on Snap-on ratchets to these three handles, in my opinion, the Snap-on is the worst design. This is a 3/8 drive Snap-on ratchet with a metal handle. And when I hold this ratchet, I'm 240 pounds. To me, this just fits a big boy's hand better. And it's just better feeling, better working, better looking. So do with that what you want to, guys.